This woman reveals how nutty it is to live in Minnesota under Walz. It's a clown show. Watch this.
Female inmates at a Minnesota prison are being forced to share showers with a 53-year-old man convicted of murder. Genevieve Gluck with Redux is reporting that Bradley Richard Servio, who is serving a life sentence for beating a man to death with a hammer before lighting the house on fire to cover up his crime, was transferred into Minnesota's only women's-only prison, MCF Shakopee, last year after he began identifying as trans. Female inmates report feeling violated that they are forced to shower with Servio, who admittedly had anger issues when he was housed in the male estate. One female inmate, whistleblowing under the name Letitia, said, quote, "No surgery has been done whatsoever. He is fully a man and still has a man's body part attached to him. He acts like a man, sounds like a man, behaves like a man. It's because he's a man." Bradley Servio said, "I've been on hormones and wearing women's underclothes." Prison officials ignored the concerns of women like Letitia, who was reportedly told, quote, "There's nothing the authorities can do about it unless something really happens to me." At least 6 men have now been transferred into the Minnesota Women's Prison since 2023, half of whom are serving or have served time for charges related to the sexual abuse of children. Another woman inside, going by Carrie, said, quote, "I just don't understand why the Department of Corrections would put violent men and sex offenders around all these women." Bradley Servio, who calls himself Aurora, was transferred into the women's prison 5 months before the state's new gender identity policy was put into place, meaning they sent him there to live and shower with women because they wanted to. The trans activist nonprofit group Gender Justice, whose 2022 lawsuit against the Minnesota Department of Corrections brought about this policy change, received nearly $500,000 in taxpayer funding from Governor Tim Walz's administration as part of a settlement. Gender Justice argued that the Department of Corrections was discriminating against yet another trans-identified male inmate, Christina Lusk, by housing him with other men in the male estate and denying him access to sex reassignment procedures, including vaginoplasty. The new policy also forces female staff to perform strip searches and pat-downs on these male inmates, as it states that, quote, "Incarcerated people who are transgender, gender diverse, intersex, or non-binary may request that they receive pat or unclothed body searches from security staff of a specific gender."
What?
As female inmate Carrie stated, "It's sad that the staff doesn't care about how we as women feel." For more pro-woman, pro-child safeguarding news and commentary, please visit redux.info or visit us on X at ReduxMag.
That is like, what's that saying? You got the, what's that saying? You got the crazy people running an asylum?
You got the crazy people running a mental asylum.
Yeah, what's the correct way to say it?
I don't know. I'm George Bush, just like you did.
The inmates are running the asylum. That's it.
There you go.
Where else would this happen? Minnesota. Tim Walz. You know what? They got how much money? Did she say like $1 million?
500 million?
Not that much.
100 million?
Something. It was like $1
Millions
million.
of dollars.
It was like $1 million. They sued up in Minnesota when you got a governor up there that's, I think, signed this into law.
Yeah.
Or something like that. I mean, he's like, he put tampons in the men's restroom. I'm sure he's down for this, but they had to sue and get money. It's like it's. I'm not saying it sounds like a money laundering scheme.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like to me. I can see if you have to sue in a state that's red, but they're not going to sue in a red state because you won't get anywhere.
Right.
But you sue in a blue state and you get money when you would have got it anyway because you're in a blue state. That's money laundering.
What?
Personally, I think that's money laundering. Where did the money go? Who the money goes to? The victims? Goes to that organization. She said it.
Right. Yeah, it's true.
Did you see that dude? He's in there for beating somebody to death with a hammer and then setting a house on fire?
Y'all put him in a facility with women.
That is nuts.
I mean, y'all are just like one step away from a huge lawsuit. Because when a woman, I remember it was one story where a woman got impregnated by a woman.
Yeah, but it's state law.
Yeah, but you know who signed that federally? First day in office, Joe Biden, he signed an executive order Based on it's all Biden policies, but that's what the Democrats support. Crazy. That is crazy. I understand you want to identify as a female if you're a male, but I'm not going to exactly treat you like a female because you're still a male. But you know what?
Did you see that second one look like something out of a comic magazine?
A comic magazine? It looked like something out of a horror movie.
It looked like She-Ra.
Nah, She-Ra looked way better than that.
Like She-Ra. No, it looked like He-Man wants to be She-Ra. That's He-Man want to be She-Ra.
Look at them shoulders.
Them some powerful shoulders. Them some broad shoulders.
That's a woman, Keith. You know why?
Why?
Because he identifies as a woman.
You know what makes him a woman? Look at that. Watch this. I'll tell you why. It's the hair.
What about the jaw? I ain't never seen a woman with a jaw.
Well, the hair disqualifies the jawline.
Well, what about them wide-ass broad shoulders?
That big wide neck. You can tell he's got a massive chest.
Them bangs ain't fooling nobody. That is crazy. If you would have said this was happening in our society, I would say maybe in a Saturday Night Live sketch, but actually Democrats actually believe this.
This is real life.
This is real life.
This is real life, man.
It's always the men invading women's spaces.
It's not the...
I've never seen a transgender man want to be put in a male prison.
Yeah.
Because she knows what's going to happen.
Oh, she's going to get... repeatedly.
It's like these men have found a loophole in the system and they're taking advantage of it.
They found a loophole in the idiots of society.
Yeah.
Who's been voted in by idiots.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and what's the most dangerous thing is criminals have got crazy imaginations. They can do some crazy things when they're locked up in a prison all by themselves where they have just time on their hands. They're very dangerous. And they put these men in cells with females. That is crazy. They're almost just as crazy as the inmates.
Y'all should be locked up. Show's over.